Welcome back. So, you may have noticed on Friday that they announced the new season of the Battle Pass. I was not around. I was busy doing War Within stuff since the early access had just opened up. And quite frankly, we can worry about this stuff when it gets into the game. But anyway, starting on the 28th, the new season of the Battle Pass will begin. So, 2 days from now. And what are we getting? There's a few things here that have stuck out to me. A lot of it isn't super interesting, but let's go through it. So, number one, the Yazikov SMG, the little pocket blaster. So, what's great about this thing is that it's going to be a secondary weapon. It's only got a 15 round magazine, which isn't a ton, but the RPKs from BR2 from the previous Battle Pass have kind of shown that you can do a lot with 15 rounds. And as a fully automatic sidearm, this thing's going to be pretty spicy. I guess the downside is you're only going to be able to get a handful of these, but if you have a radio squad that you like, or maybe your squad leader on a normal squad, this might be really good on like an assault squad. I know in the past with the automatic Colts, I've put them on like sniper squads before. So like put it on the squad leader so that he can run around, and if he gets into trouble, he can pull out the automatic Colt and deal with the trouble, and then go back to his sniper. But I think it's a really cool gun, and I would like to have a full like 5 of them just to outfit one squad, whether it's a sniper squad or a radio squad, just a smaller squad that might actually get usage out of them. Um, like I feel like it could be good on an assault squad, but at the same time, the Russians have so many good assault weapons that are high capacity that I feel like you probably don't need it. But I think it's a really cool gun. Moving over to BR5 America, we have the Bren Mark II 100. So I'm curious to see what the fire rate on this is. If it's the same fire rate as the previous one, then it'll be nice to have, but it won't really be, great. But if it has slightly higher fire rate, I could probably get behind this. So it's really competing with the 1919. Now, the 1919, in my experience, has been an incredibly stable platform, and yeah, you're kind of slow to move around with it, but it's a belt-fed machine gun, so what do you expect? And it generally performs really well. But not everybody has the 1919. And so for anybody who's playing at BR5 and doesn't have the 1919, I think this thing's going to be awesome. I don't think that the Bren itself is a particularly bad gun as it is. I think it's serviceable. It gets the job done. Sometimes it's annoying to use the sights on it because you've got the magazine on top and it blocks a decent chunk of your screen. This magazine, because it's like a drum, looks like it'll be shorter, but it's still gonna, take up some of your screen space. But you've got these AA sights going over the top, so that might just be a non-issue. We'll see. I'm curious to see how it is to shoulder it, how stable it is, and what the fire rate's like. But this is the one that stood out the most to me. I'm probably the most excited for this Bren. Even though I've got the 1919s, if nothing else, it means that I can potentially kit out a British machine gun team at high BR if I can get like 3 of these. So I think they're pretty cool. Moving on from there, I feel like everything else is more or less forgettable. The Pavesi SVT is an Italian rifle. It's similar to the SVT-40. I have the other. I think the other one's a Pavesi as well. I think it's like the Pavesi M42 or something like that. Anyway, I have the older Italian rifle that fires the 8mm Beretta anti-aircraft cartridge, and I've always kind of liked it. I think it's a pretty cool gun. Um, at BR3, this probably will be a pretty good rifle, but at BR3, you have other choices, so I don't know if it's something that I would really worry about. I think it's more of a novelty. If you're trying to kit out Italians, then maybe getting a few of them would be worthwhile, but like I said, you have other BR3 options in that category. Like at BR2, you have their semi the Armaguera, and at BR3 you should have the Gewehr 41. So, eh. Don't get me wrong, I don't think the Gewehr 41 is like the best semi-auto in the game. It's just if I'm only looking at the currently available offerings, I feel like the Bren and the Yazikov are more exciting. And if I'm going to pick up uh, an Italian rifle, it's probably going to be the Beretta PGCR at BR5. I think this is cool, just not that exciting. And then rounding it out, we have the Marada Type 22 rifle for Japan. It has an 8-round integral tubular magazine. It sounds to me like it's probably similar to the Lebel. I don't know exactly how the action works on it. I haven't really looked into it, but the tubular magazine just reminds me of the Lebel, so it might be similar to a Japanese Lebel. I'm pretty sure it's like a proper bolt action rifle as well. I don't think it's semi-auto. I think they would have said something if it was. But I think this one is much more novel and interesting than the Pavesi. But, you know, they're both kind of neat. As far as vehicles go, uh, I think they're all kind of boring. I think the highlight here is probably the KV1. If you want like a fully upgraded KV1, there's an option. But the M4A1, the Puma, and the Hawaii are all kind of whatever. Like the Hawaii isn't bad, it's just eh. I mean, the camo looks kind of cool. Additionally, there will be some unique soldiers, but they never do anything exciting with them, so meh. You get medics, whatever. And there is a Surgeon Battle Pass icon, which is kind of cool. All in all, I feel like we've had more interesting, more inspired battle passes before. But that being said, I am looking forward to the Yazikov and I am looking forward to the Bren. I'm, initially I was leaning more towards the Bren. I'm actually more and more leaning towards the little Russian ghetto blaster. I kind of like the idea of my Russians running around with like 1930s, 1940s Tech 9s. So, I don't know. Looks to be exciting. The other thing today is that they will be testing the next major update. If you're interested in checking out any of this stuff, go ahead, jump on there. It's usually a pretty fun environment. You can take things out, mess around with them. I probably should do that. We'll see. I might. As far as I know, there's not a whole lot coming. Because I don't think they've announced any other. Yeah, I think it's just the Battle Pass stuff. So I don't know. If I hear about something exciting being on there, I'll probably get on there and record it. But if not, we're going to see all of these in game pretty soon. So I wouldn't worry about it too much. But if you've got nothing else to do, it's usually a decent environment. You see, if there were like maps coming or, just an actual update that they talked about, I'd normally be on there by now. But I don't know. I think it's just the Battle Pass stuff. So, as per usual, get out there, kick ass, take names, and win your games.